All right. Um, Episode 3 of Code Geass is officially out, and what can I say except you're welcome? Yeah. So I'm a couple days late to this. Who cares? Anyway, this episode was good, I guess. Like, I don't know. You guys can sort of tell. Like, if you see my old chapter reviews, you can tell I normally don't have a lot to say because, like, bro, this stuff is good, right? Like, I can only say certain things so many times, right? But anywho, so we do get some more characterization for Rose. We find out some more about some of her allies, and then what you call it? We see that like for some reason they make her like help around the shop, which like I get, you know. Um and then that turns into like a her vacation turns into like her helping, but then like some punks try to like harass the other waitress, and so Ash comes in and like he does his cool like ex mercenary and he like karate chops both of them and they both like despawn or whatever. I don't care. And then um we go, oh, that's cool. And then she brings him back to the restaurant to thank him like a normal person, right? And then he like proceeds to he doesn't know about Rose being a chick. So it's weird, but he's kind of like into Rose, and he like gets really flustered, and he starts like do like the introverted version of hitting on her, which doesn't end well. And more hijinks ensue. This episode was definitely more low key than the past two, um, but that's not really too bad. Obviously, every show needs a little bit of downtime. Um, and it is kind of setting up for a lot of things. We see some new nightmare frames, which is pretty sick. They were talking about who was going to be the ace pilot, which like I gotta be honest, man. Like it's gonna be the teenage chick with with parenting issues and anger problems. Like I forget her name, but we might as well call her Colin too. Like come on, like that's what we know what's gonna happen, right? And well, like we also get a flying support unit, which they kind of treat as like this big deal. And dude, that inconsistency about the show, I've heard multiple people talk about it. Like, dude, they should have flying units. Every nightmare frame should have a flying unit, because guess what? By the end point of like the first season alone, which keep in mind in the Code Geass like movie timeline, that happened like 4 or 5 years ago. Right? So, and you could argue that like Neo Britannia and the Seven Stars they obviously are much smaller groups, so maybe they don't have, but it wouldn't really make sense for them to not have at least flying booster packs, which is what a lot of the units did in Code Geass. They had a lot of flying packs, It's, I don't know, that inconsistency is kind of bugging me. Um, but uh, it don't really matter. At the end of the day, it's an inconsistency that sticks out of my mind that obviously kind of brings the episode down, but not necessarily like, oh my god, this is a writing flaw. Therefore, I'm gonna make a 2 hour and 28 minute video about why this is such a disappointing show. And it's it's obviously an enjoyable ride. The weird thing, I did not expect the prince to get assassinated this early. I expected him to die, right? But I expected him to be manipulated more by the main antagonist of the show, the mask guy. Um, but yeah, I didn't think he would die this early, which I'm kind of surprised by. But I am really curious to see what that's going to lead to. But obviously, can't really predict everything. And also, Lelouch, what are you doing? Okay, so this is the major spoiler. So Lelouch is back, but not actually back. We see in a flashback that he decided to give Rose a Gios, right? Unfortunately, I don't think he remembered. When has this ever gone well for anyone? Like, I genuinely want to point, unless you count like The Exile, like that spin-off show, where I think the main character had the Gia. I don't even remember. I gotta be honest, I don't remember Akito the Exile that well. But like, when is giving someone a Gios ever worked out well? Just ask C2. And like, I don't get it. Like, listen, I get, Lelouch, you probably see a lot of yourself in Rose. Unfortunately, you also did many bad things. And to be fair, you're cool, you're awesome. But why? Oh god. Like, and guess what? This is 100% is gonna go bad. I'm calling it right now. Like, honestly, and here's the thing: if Rose dies at the end of this, thanks to Lelouch, that shit is gonna be crazy. And like, I don't know, man. It's wild. Plus, also, I don't know why Lelouch brought his like best fit to this. Like, he's making the biggest mistake of his life. But he's like, you know what? C2, get out the good clothes. Like, genuinely, that outfit that he's wearing, it's like the most grand outfit he's ever worn in his life. Like, genuinely, I think that the outfit he wore when he was Emperor looks less grand and less important than when he was wearing it to give Rose the Gios. Like, I don't get it. He's like, you know what? I may be making the biggest mistake of my life, but I'm going to wear the drip and no one is going to stop. I'm going to look good while making my mistakes. And it's like, okay, sure. You know what? You did a lot of zero. Enjoy your retirement. Do whatever you want. But I'm just saying, it's probably going to go bad. He also could have probably just ended this conflict. So, yeah, that's interesting. Also, we know he didn't die off screen, so that's nice. We didn't see C2, so if she died off screen, le oof. But, Anyway, this was a pretty solid episode. Obviously, I don't know if you guys will notice this, but initially, my scores are gonna kind of slowly go down. Not because the episodes are necessarily bad, but just because once it really starts to settle in, you start being more critical of it, and you start calling it, you start expecting it from the show. So overall, I think I'm gonna give this probably a 7. It's not a bad episode or anything, but just slowly, your markings naturally go down the more you see of it, just because that's how life works, right? Anywho, I'll catch you on the flip side. This is Rock signing out. Oh, and also look forward to me yapping about Grendizer in the next week or so. So, toodles.